Hello, folks. Hello. Hello to everybody. Hello to everybody joining this live stream today. And today, no matter which country you're coming from, I have the very same question that I really want to ask you today. And there it is. How are you feeling today? I think this is a very important question. I think this is a very important question to ask. You're probably seeing it in a mirror mode right now, but it says, how are you feeling today? The very purpose of this live stream is to allow all of us share our emotions in an open way, in a space where other people are willing to listen. This is something that I find the lack of on the internet. I very often find that people create community groups and form special bonds. But one thing that I think we lack at large as a society is this kind of shared bonding that we create with other people. I think we all really want connection at a certain point in our lives. And I think one thing that we feel very insecure to do these days is to allow ourselves to say openly how we feel, to share our feelings with other people. My name is Lilia and I'm a psychologist and I'm also an English teacher. So in the context of this live stream, one thing that I would really like to encourage people to do is tap into our own emotions and tap into our feelings and share with other people how we feel. And I really want the atmosphere of this live stream to be very welcoming. I don't really know how many people are going to join us today because this is the first time I decided to do anything like that. And I put that into the category of people and blogs and things like that. But one thing that I really want us to do today, no matter how many people choose to join us, is actually tap into this very kind of inner landscape of ours and think how you're feeling right now. And I'm very sorry because you're seeing this in a mirror mode, I think, but I do really hope that we'll be able to get this message across the world, no matter how many people join us. Hello, Meg Dolkin is with us right now. Hello, Meg Dolkin. Can you tell us how you feel? The purpose of this live stream is to be able to share our feelings in a way that is welcoming. Sometimes I feel we have this lack in the world. Sometimes we really want to be heard by other people. We really wish for other people to actually hear us, to listen to us. But one thing that we never seem to get from other people is this genuine listening thing. I know that this is a kind of contrived setting for people to share their feelings and emotions in the chat. And for me as a psychologist, the direct presence of the person I'm talking to is extremely important when I'm doing my therapy sessions. But for the sake of this live stream, I want you to basically in the chat, try to put your feelings within words. I know there are so many lonely people in the world who might be watching us right now. I found this to be a real issue with the world these days. We seem to be super connected these days, but in this day and age, we don't seem to have this genuine connection with other people. So this is something I really wanted to encourage you to do in the chat, to actually share with me the answer to the question that you have probably seen in the title of this live stream. How are you feeling today? Well, let me start by sharing how I personally feel today, because that might be a good idea. That might just give you some room where you can start. So I think I should be authentic and open with you. First and foremost, hand on heart, I should say that I'm a little bit worried because I'm afraid of making a fool of myself. And I'm also feeling like nobody in this world might be actually interested in this thing. And I don't even know if other people may have chosen to do this before I did, because we're living in a global world and I know that many ideas pop into other people's heads all the time. So I'm feeling a little bit scared because as a young child, I always wanted to be a presenter. I always wanted to be a public speaker. I always wanted to talk to people, but I always felt as if I was somehow inferior to my peers. And I really wanted to, to present in school contests and things like that. And we had, those school concerts and graduation parties. I really wanted to have been given a chance to actually present there, but I have never been given that particular chance. And right now, I'm feeling like I'm in a controlled environment where I can actually talk to people in a way that I can actually control certain things. So that kind of makes me feel a little bit safer than I would otherwise. But having said that, I still feel really insecure because I think in this world nowadays, we have so many channels and we have so many people who have so many things to share that for your unique voice to be able to stand out, you have to come up with your idea of purple cow or anything, as they say. So this is a little bit intimidating. Even though I'm used to talking to audiences, I feel a little bit insecure, and I think all of us do. So that's what happens from time to time, doesn't it? Okay, guys, so feel free, make sure in the comment section or in the chat, tell me how you feel. How are you feeling today? I think one thing that we feel especially insecure about in this world is that we have this ban on negative emotions. Look at this thing that we say to other people and they go like, oh, how are you feeling today? And everyone would go like, I'm fine, I'm fine. I know that so many of us may resonate with this because many of us have felt that we're not fine, but we have to say that particular thing as a social standard. And personally, I sometimes resonate with that thing. And I may say I'm fine because I don't want to overload another person with my problems. But also, I may just say I'm fine, meaning I don't want you to dig deep into my soul because I don't want you to actually dig deep into my feelings. But one interesting thing that I find about this whole thing of feelings all the time is that when you're watching a channel on YouTube, in the chat, they actually ask you to keep things to yourself. Like many times you really want to say things, but you're keeping that to yourself because of the community guidelines and things like that. And I'm not talking trolling right now. To me, it feels like we are kind of a little bit discouraged to bring our negative feelings up. We're kind of discouraged to put our negative feelings out there on the table. And yeah, that's what's happening. Meg Doken is saying that you're feeling fine, and that's totally fine. I think we should validate our emotions a little bit more. If that's the genuine truth of how you're feeling right now, that's fine. That's totally fine. I've just envisaged a situation, if anyone in the chat wrote something like, I'm feeling terrible right now. So think about this, guys. What would have to be your initial reaction to someone saying, I'm feeling terrible? I just came up here and said, I'm feeling like complete shit. How would you react? Something many of my friends would probably say would have to be along the lines of, you shouldn't feel shit, you see. There's nothing in this world to feel shit about. You're completely all right to feel fine. You're completely all right to you know, you need to feel fine. You need to feel very positive. But if I'm actually feeling shit, that's not the reaction I'm after. Sometimes what I really need is validation. Honestly, 100% of the times, I think one thing that we really need the most is validation of our feelings. When I'm telling you that I'm feeling shit, I mean it. So this is my actual reality. This is the reality of my internal being. That's how I'm actually feeling right now. And you telling me that I shouldn't feel this way is actually an open door for me to feel that there's something wrong with me, something's happening to me. And that's not something I want, is it? So by saying everything will be okay, the world is a flowery place to be in, you know, we're all surrounded by rainbows and flowers, what we're actually doing is some sort of disservice to that other person. If you have just joined the live stream, one thing that I really want to ask you to do is in the live chat, tell me how you are feeling right now. How are you feeling right now? Okay. There is a question from McDokin that just popped up. What's the difference between character and personality? I think those two words are kind of similar, right? Just like all words in the world depend on what meaning we put into them. I think that the word personality tends to be a little bit, I think when people talk about personality, they normally talk about some stable things, right, rather than character. Having said that, I think those two are interchangeable. They're very often used interchangeably in the English language. Personality, well, that's a great question. I think when we're talking about personality, we're talking about some kind of identification, how I would describe myself. Having said that, I think other people may talk about my character. So I think these two words could be used when talking about our relationships with other people, right? So if I were to describe my personality, I might probably say that I'm bouncy, like I'm cheerful, but that's like how I personally identify myself, which is an abstract thing. However, I think what people might mean when they're talking about character is certain characteristics and traits that are more like ingrained in my DNA, or things that I was born with. For example, people may talk about a really nasty character that certain people may possess in the world. So that would have to be one usage of the word character. Another usage of the word character is obviously like a person who is being in a movie, like a movie character, a book character. Again, a character is like an amalgamation of certain traits, of certain characteristics, just like personality. Having said that, I do think that personality tends to be a little bit more stable. That's like a steadier thing that people often talk about. I really want to say hello to Tias. Hello, Tias. Tias is saying, hi, Lily, it's nice to see you live on YouTube. I'm also really happy to see you, Tias. We're actually friends, are we? We're acquaintances. Tias and I, for those of you guys who don't know Tias, we attend lessons on YouTube with an English teacher whose name is Mr. Duncan, who I would highly recommend. I think he's a fantastic teacher. Hello, Tias. I'm very happy to talk to you here live. The theme of this practical live stream that I really want to transfer itself into a workshop is, how are you feeling right now? I feel that in the world nowadays, we kind of get really detached from our real feelings, and we kind of feel a little bit insecure to share how we feel with other people, even though that might be a very, very important thing to do. I think many of us actually feel lonely because we have no possibility, we have no opportunity rather to share our feelings with other people. We feel like nobody cares. And I know that in this universe, everything tends to be like a vibration to where you are right now. So if we're all gathered here in this little cozy space within the context of this live stream on YouTube, that means that there is a reason behind you attending this live stream. I don't think that anything in this world happens for no reason. I think there's always a reason behind things, don't you think? So maybe if you're here and you can feel a specific emotional reaction to what I'm doing or how you're feeling at the moment, it might be a great moment for you to actually share your feelings in the chat. Maybe there is a certain feeling that you discovered in yourself having tuned into your own emotions that you would love to share in the chat. I think we go about our days, we go about our routines, never thinking deeply enough or never feeling deeply enough, because there's a difference, isn't there? I think we never feel deeply enough. We don't spend much time feeling deeply enough into how we feel. And this is the right moment for you to do so. So, but this video, I just really want to open the door for you to be listened to. And I want us to learn to listen to each other in a positive manner and to actually validate each other's feelings. I think it's very important to cultivate the understanding of listening to each other's emotions, really. And I think it's also very important to create the atmosphere for each other in our lives where we're feeling connected by the means of being able to express our emotions in a real way, in an authentic way with each other. I think this is something we all lack in the world nowadays. We're trying to create an image of ourselves. We create a type of an avatar, we post it on social media, but we think that we fail to do is to actually show the world how vulnerable we are. And that's something I want to encourage you to do. We cannot give room for other people to improve our lives unless we share our vulnerability with other people. I think it's extremely important to share our vulnerability. If we don't let our people, if we don't let other people rather see into ourselves and see into our vulnerability, we stand no chance whatsoever of creating a relationship that is real and based on authentic feelings that we both experience. Why do you think so many people have to go through a relationship trauma over and over again? Have you ever thought about this interesting thing? Life unfolds in patterns. There are certain patterns to our lives that keep repeating over and over again. For example, this is especially visible in relationships. Imagine a certain situation that happens to you all the time. Like you get, you break up with a boyfriend over money or anything like that. It could be a real pattern that could be happening in your life. And if you manage to spot the dynamics, the mechanics of the pattern, you'll be able to unfold it. But we can only do that if we share our feelings very openly. I think there are a few myths, especially in the relationship field, especially in the women educating field, in terms of how women should behave if they want to be attracted by men and if they want to attract men into their lives. I think there are a few prevailing themes running in the world of educating women to attract men these days. And one of these themes would definitely have to be being bitchy, being brash, being, this kind of a character, being a little bit whimsical, like a typical femininity thing. One thing, though, that I think we all lack in the world nowadays is the teaching of authenticity for women. Authenticity. And you see, why so many of us end up unhappy in our relationships? This happens due to the fact that we construct a certain image of ourselves. We construct a certain avatar of ourselves. And we try to throw that avatar at another person. And then if the person is trying to live up to the standards and characteristics molded within that avatar, we get really disappointed because many of those characteristics are fake and they're artificially constructed for that other person to be attracted by us. Isn't that weird? I think that's a very weird thing we do, but also it's quite understandable from a psychological perspective. One thing I believe we should do more of is disclose the authentic truth about how we feel. And in this live stream, this is something I want to encourage you to do. Many of us actually struggle with expressing our emotions openly. I'm definitely one of those people. I'm definitely joining the club. But I do think we all need to start doing that. And that particular live chat is a great place to practice expressing your emotions, expressing the full truth of yourself. I'm planning on running some other live streams along these lines for people to be able to connect and actually learn to speak out their real authentic feelings. I think that's something we should definitely do more of. So I really want to thank those of you guys who are watching this live stream, who decided to connect with me today, both mentally and emotionally, and also thinking white. I'm very, very thankful to you for granting me some of your time. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate that. And right now, in terms of my feelings, I'm feeling quite proud because I can see that 5 people are watching. I have 2 thumbs ups, and that's very, very encouraging. So I'm feeling very thankful. I'm actually feeling that I may be doing the right thing. So I really hope you have a lovely time wherever you are. You have a beautiful morning or a beautiful day or a beautiful evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Ta-ta for now.